Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up, guys?
So, let's start with before, when it was just an idea, okay? Wasn't Venom supposed to be... reason why they created Venom originally, when we heard, was that they wanted to make it a rated R, sort of like Deadpool, do its own thing. And then it changed when the deal changed with Disney and the potential of them having Spider-Man appear later on sequels. Then we're hearing that they're going to PG-13. And even the actor is confused because, you know, it would have been rated R. Can you make sense of this?
I remember, at least this is what I remember, and maybe I'm remembering incorrectly, so anybody in the comment section, please feel free to correct me. I remember the idea being pretty much what you just said, that it was going to be rated R, because I remember specifically having a conversation with you on here about if the villain was Carnage, that would let them really dive deep into Cletus Cassidy being a real sick person,
serial killer and whatever,
and B, after he got the symbiote, they could really go off the wall.
Maximum Carnage, just killing people.
Yeah, really gory stuff with him because Carnage can make it out of his body and everything, and that whole thing was that Carnage's symbiote or Cassidy's symbiote is literally bonded to his blood. So I mean, I always thought that was the idea, and I was like,
and there was no cinematic universe at the time. There was no. We're gonna do a movie about Morbius. We're gonna do a movie about Magneto, Mysterio. We're gonna do a movie about Black Cat. We're gonna do a movie with Silver Sable. We're gonna do Craven the Hunter. It was just, we're doing Venom. I know Marvel's pissed, but we're doing Venom anyway. That's what the thing was. There was no, it's part of the cinematic universe. It's not part of the cinematic universe. There was not even a conversation about it.
Well, I didn't even remember at the time. I didn't even think that when they said that they were going to do a Venom movie, I personally don't remember them being like, we're going to make a whole cinematic universe out of villains. I don't remember that.
I remember that Marvel and Disney were caught off guard because they had no idea that this was happening. And then they got the lawyers to look at the fine print. Then all of a sudden they got concerned because they're like, well, wait a minute now. Yeah. They could basically do a movie about anybody connected with Spider-Man.
Right.
And Marvel couldn't say nothing about it. So I think that Disney had something in this deal with Spider-Man, fine print, that Spider-Man could never cross over ever with a movie that's rated R.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if it was a Venom. They didn't obviously look at it. And then when last minute somebody found out, oh, crap, there's a loophole in there, meaning that we'll never be able to have Spider-Man in here. So we need to change this to PG-13. Now, again, the whole concept was it was always going to be rated R. Remember, we were talking the debate. I'm like, oh, they're not going to be like Deadpool. They're not going to get the audience like Deadpool rated R. It's not going to be, how is that going to be like that? If it was Carnage, yes, but, it's going to have to build itself up. Without Spider-Man, it's crap. I mean, we said it. It was like we didn't think it was going to do good, one. And also, we felt it was definitely going to be rated R because that's what they said. And now it's politics. Now it's board meetings, business things. How can we do Venom 4 when we didn't even get Venom 1 out yet? Because the way it looks, it's like Spider-Man would appear probably in Venom 3 or 4.
Well, right now they're saying there's only supposed to be 3, allegedly.
Okay. Well, then it would be 3, but because Carnage will be in the second one.
Yes.
And then they would have the big thing. But the problem is that it's not gonna have the impact they think because there's no connection with Venom and Peter Parker Spider-Man. They lost that origin. So it's like him just fighting Venom.
Yeah.
It's not, it loses everything. There's no connection with Peter Parker fighting Eddie Brock in the Daily Bugle and calling him out as a fake, and him losing his job, his career, because of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. There was no revenge. There was no anger. There was no like pure hatred. That stuff is not there. So we have a problem, and that would never be effective if they did Spider-Man versus Venom, as much as it could have possibly been. So, I mean, now even Tom Hardy, he said, I guess he's upset. They cut out 40 minutes of rated R stuff. But then Marvel, I guess Sony or whatever, they're backtracking. They're saying that, oh, no, there is no rated R version out there anywhere. So what do you think it is, Chris?
I think, and my evidence for this is the idea of what they're trying to do now, that we know that they're trying to make these other movies. At least that's the plan right now. I think they looked at that rated R rating and they were like, I don't know if we can make as much money as we can off of that, mainly with like merchandise sales and stuff. I don't think that they looked at the Deadpool success and they were like, yeah, we can try to emulate that.
Originally they did.
Originally they did, but I think that somewhere along the line they started looking at that and they got nervous.
Right.
And they were like, maybe we shouldn't. because right. look at what happened. You know, Eminem just released a song about this movie.
Right.
You know, you can't really do stuff like that with a rated R movie. At least that's the idea that's going through these executives' heads. It's like, well, but the thing that really confuses me is if that's what they're going for, I have not seen any merchandise for this movie.
There isn't.
There's none. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, because a friend of mine is a very big Marvel collector. He collects all the figures, everything.
Yes.
And I was like, so have you heard anything about like a Venom figure? Because I was interested in maybe picking one up because I like the Venom design in this movie.
Yes.
And he was like, they didn't make any.
There's a reason for that, Chris. Is because despite all the interviews with them together, Sony and Disney, Marvel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marvel hates this. Disney hates this. Marvel owns like the toy companies that make the or they have rights with these toy companies to make the figures, right?
Yeah.
They never made stuff for this because they don't support it. They hate it. So they won't come out and they won't do interviews. They like saying they hate it. There'll be smiles. There'll be like, there'll be things.
The corporate answers will be flying around, and
But when you get the Russo brothers that don't have to answer to shit, and they say Venom is flat out not part of the MCU.
Right.
The MCU doesn't deny it, and then Sony's like, But then at the same time, it's Kevin Feige, right?
Kevin Feige.
Kevin Feige gets nervous because they only have Spider-Man for a limited time.
Yes.
So then he's like, hey, guys, Russos, just don't say anything about that.
Yeah.
Right? Because we have Spider-Man for 2 and 3, and he's going to be in Avengers 4, but we really want him still, and we don't have a deal that we want. We are cooking up something for Phase 4 and Phase 5, and basically Phase 5, and we kind of lose the character. So we really want to make it like we're friends with them, but we're really not. So don't say anything like Venom's not part of the MCU. We know.
Basically, don't say anything provocative.
Right, we know he's not, but let the shit bomb because it sucks. We're not going to make action figures for it. We're not going to promote it on the Marvel Comics website. We probably won't. We're gonna capitalize on it by putting out all this Venom shit in the comics and just making money from that. But we're not going to promote the movie at all. And they're like, all right. And then Sony's like, oh yeah, they're like, Tom Holland's going to be in 3, right? And they're like, Yeah, sure. Yeah, you could have him cameo. Yes, he will. Yes. This is the fake bullshit poker face thing they have on, and they smile at each other like they love each other, and they hate each other. Sony hates Disney and Marvel, and Marvel and Disney hate Sony, because if they really were friends, there would be like 5 sets of Venom out. That every week there would be like sets, and they would go throughout the year. Venom set. But they won't, and they would even reissue old Venom stuff.
Well, that's what they did. They did make a toy line. It's just it didn't include any of the stuff from the movie.
Right.
So the recent, I think
they're making money from Venom.
Right. They just released all of these Marvel figures with a Venom in it, and the figure that each one comes with a piece of a bigger figure. The bigger figure is this like monster Venom, and I was like, okay, and I was kind of like, they didn't throw like a movie one in there, so I was like, okay, I kind of see where they're coming from, but at the same time,
they want to make money from Venom, but they don't. They want the movie to fail.
Yeah.
If Venom fails, then it's gonna be like when Han Solo failed, and Disney's like, whoa.
I think I gotta be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's gonna be a lot worse than that.
Right.
I do.
Morbius will be canceled. Silver Sable movie will be canceled. Black Cat movie will be canceled. Everything will stop.
Yeah.
Completely. They might just do Morbius because they want to piss off DC.
Well, you want to know? You want to know what though? Because this is the problem that Sony's facing right now.
Right.
If Venom doesn't do well, and then Into the Spider-Verse doesn't do well,
that's not going to do well.
That's it. That's game. You've had 2 movies. One of them a quote-unquote, Spider-Man character, and the other one a Spider-Man movie, animated or not. It's still a Spider-Man movie that fail.
Right.
They're in a lot of trouble because now they have to look at their big franchises are almost failing across the board.
Well, their Men in Black is probably going to do well.
Well, we say that now. We haven't seen anything from that, though.
Yeah.
That could suck, too.
The Ghostbusters is as much as they say that supposedly another Ghostbusters is coming out, but that's what Ivan Reitman says. We don't know if that's going on.
Right.
But honestly, they need to stop this whole notion of like all the extensions to Spider-Man. All these movies have to stop. They want to do a universe, then they got to do it smart, and they got to do it where if I would suggest this to Sony, if Disney wants Spider-Man like for more movies, then besides getting money, like a lot of money from them, they have to play it, look, you got to give something to us despite giving us money. We got to have your characters in our movies. We got to have like Thor pop up and related to this, or the Hulk in this movie, or something. You gotta like acknowledge that we're part of the same thing, and we'll even let you kind of make it as part of the Phase 4, but we're getting money from it. They gotta work it out together, because this thing with Venom, this is what's gonna happen if Venom fails, right? Because is Tom Holland in Venom?
Well, why don't we talk about what we were talking about off air? Because I feel like anybody who's watching this is going to be kind of confused as to why we're saying Venom is going to fail. For those of you, there's no spoilers in this, but there have been people that have seen the movie, and we don't know how it goes, but we've heard the reactions. So if you don't want to know directly what we heard, stop watching now in case you're afraid it's going to ruin what you're expecting of the movie. So stop watching now.
Yes.
Okay, so we've heard that this movie is really bad.
Awful.
Like, I've heard it compared to Ghost Rider and the Halle Berry Catwoman.
Oh my God.
Now, I don't know how true this is. I don't know if this person's even seen the movie. However, it wouldn't surprise me if it was that bad at this point.
The thing that annoys me is there was a split couple second thing of the thing that he fights.
Riot.
And the thing is doing stuff like Carnage would do.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, if this is a scrub villain waiting us over to the main course, right? And if he does all the shit that Carnage does, when Carnage appears, he's going to suck.
Yeah.
Because what surprise is there?
Yeah.
So this scrub villain, like, should not have weird abilities like that.
Well, it seems like all of the symbiotes can do this now, because there's that woman in the trailer who makes a spear out of her symbiote and like cuts that guy's throat, and there's that other guy that he fires those like missiles out of his body that are, I'm assuming, made of his symbiote.
It's a mistake.
And Venom is making shields and stuff, and I'm kind of like, when did they do this? Like, I knew Carnage
never did this,
but it's like, but you're right though. It's like, and you know what else is dumb? Is that Riot? I don't know if you've seen the most recent like TV spots with him. He's got like red veins going throughout his body.
That's terrible.
So I'm like, so when Carnage shows up,
the whole thing with Carnage was a mutation. Because it was like born on Earth, and the Venom symbiote had a baby, and that was Carnage, right? But it was different. It was an improvement over, like, the child is supposed to be an improvement over the parent. It was with Earth atmosphere and DNA, I guess, from human part of Eddie Brock with Venom mixed, and it was superior, like symbiote. It was more powerful. It was different than the other symbiotes. The other symbiotes couldn't do that. The other symbiotes were grown, I guess, in the lab. They were trying to do like they did with, like what happened with Carnage, like try to reproduce that. And
Carnage is shown to be a bit more resistant to their natural weaknesses too. So I mean, I don't know. I saw, when I saw Riot the first time, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. He's like a silver kind of symbiote. That's cool. But then when I saw the red veins on his body, I was like, wait a minute. You can't make him too much like Carnage. What the hell?
You can't make, and this is the trap that they have in the comics now too. They think, let's do something flashy. Let's do something, oh my God, it's amazing. It's, oh my God, it's all powerful. Every villain is the most powerful villain, right? And then every comic gets boring because they're all trying to do the ultimate thing, Yeah. Like I pointed out, when they had a comic called Thors, there's like 1 million effing hammers with 1 million effing Thors. There's no way anybody could take on like 100 or 1,000 Thors. That's ridiculous. I mean, all you have to do is the men. It's impossible that anybody could be a threat. And it would be boring. Because
unless there's some sort of like omnipresent
But
villain.
It's still, I mean, it's like taking the Hulk and magnifying it. It's, come on. I mean, the Hulk gave a run to his money for, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Hulk was, so like, they do this in the comics, and they do, oh my God, this villain could do this, all these symbiotes, oh my God, there's a gargoyle Venom now, and there's a this, that, and then it's like boring, because then you're always looking to do more, and it's impossible. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Doctor Who, when they were trying to have a villain to destroy the universe every episode. So after a while, it just, people lose interest because they're like, oh, here we go, Marvel again, look what they're doing, huh?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I want to keep topic with Venom. Making Riot like Carnage is suicide to the franchise, because what are you going to do with Carnage?
Well, that's what worries me. If let's say that this, like, Venom does well enough where they make a sequel, And from what it looks like, the villain is going to be Carnage in the sequel.
I thought it's Woody Harrelson admitted he's Carnage.
Apparently so.
He admitted it, and he wasn't even supposed to do that, but he's like, I'm Woody Harrelson, you're Sony, who gives a shit? Like, really, basically.
My thing is this, like, if they're going to let Riot do all this stuff that Carnage would normally do, you know what that means to me? It means Carnage is going to be either one of two things. Either he's just going to be Riot repaint.
Yes.
Or they're going to give him all these new abilities that he's never had before.
Like psychic mind control or something.
He's going to be completely unrecognizable.
Yes.
And they're going to be like, no, it's a new interpretation of Carnage.
They're going to make a giant Carnage in the city that's like a monster like Godzilla.
Yeah.
And Venom's going to have to fight, and it's not going to make any damn sense.
I don't want them to make a sequel and then, like, we see Carnage and he's, like, purple.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, he can make guns out of his symbiote or something stupid like that. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Definitely not. And it's doomed to failure right now. I never thought Venom was going to take off. I always see is him, and they even changed certain scenes that I actually liked. Like when he says, we are Venom, he just said it looking like Venom, not looking like half Eddie Brock, half Venom.
Yeah.
Like, they changed it. I don't like that. It looks stupid. I'm going to see it. I mean, but I'm not crazy about it. Because I know the history behind it.
I thought this could have done well if they did it, I mean, again, we haven't seen it, so, we could be wrong.
And I'm also, I was telling you, and I was saying to the guys the other night, it's about placement. Like, you go to a funeral where half the fucking universe dies with Infinity War. Now you got to be fucking happy for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now you got to be fucking happy for Venom. Nobody gives a shit about all that other stuff. They want to see the Avengers come back and defeat Thanos. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of fucking, I understand Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yes, you know what? They kind of used that movie to put that little thing in there to connect to Infinity War, which was effed up. And Captain Marvel's whole fucking thing isn't who the hell is Captain Marvel? Making a name for herself. She's connected to the Infinity War because she's going to be the one to fucking save them all, which is going to be a mistake also. That's with, so I don't want to get loose track. Anyway, I don't think people really are that crazy to see Venom. I don't hear anybody that I know say, oh my God, I can't wait to see Venom.
Yeah. Well, what I'm concerned about, and this very well could happen, is that, we don't like it. But for some reason, the general audience thinks it's the greatest thing that's come out.
Because they don't read the comics.
And they're like, oh yeah, this is great. And then this is the thing.
And they make more shit.
Well, this is the thing. We'll never see Venom in the MCU. And going forward, any future Venom stories will be influenced by this movie.
Yeah.
So even if it's not connected to the movie, they'll use elements from the movie and be like, oh yeah, in our universe, Venom never met Spider-Man, and this is how it works. And it's like...
And also, if Venom does well, that deal is going to be shattered.
Yes.
With Spider-Man. I don't think anybody understands that. Like, Sony will get an ego. They'll be like, we're not renewing the deal. Then they'll have to have their own Spider-Man. It's gonna get screwed up. You're not gonna see Spider-Man in the MCU anymore. If Venom is number one, if Venom does fantastic, if Venom does like ridiculous, this is what's gonna happen. They're gonna be like DC, EU. They're gonna green light fucking all this shit.
Everything will get green light.
Like Doc Ock the movie, it's gonna be so fucking ridiculous that some of these movies, Ant made a movie, everything. I mean, they're gonna fucking throw shit out there.
You'll hear at least 5 new movies get
green light. At least.
You'll hear Venom 2, Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio. Well, maybe not Mysterio, but anybody that Marvel doesn't have plans to use in the MCU right now we'll get a movie Green
They're
Lantern.
gonna have a movie about the Captain Universe fucking powers.
They'll have Rhino.
Because
they'll have
connected with Spider-Man. You're gonna have fucking movies on villains, movies on heroes. They're gonna do Rocket Racer. They're gonna fucking do like the Prowler. They're gonna do all kinds of fucking shit. And
I'm telling you, you know what they'll do? They will grow a pair. And they'll get really crazy, and they'll be like, you know what we're doing? We're making a Goblin War movie. We're gonna have the Green Goblin, the Hobgoblin, the Techno Goblin. They're all gonna be in it.
They're gonna do a thing. Norman Osborn, his company, built his company up, and then what's gonna happen is that the guy that's a mercenary stole his fucking shit, became the Hobgoblin. Then it's just gonna be like villains fighting each other. Then there's gonna be like the Demo Goblin, the fucking this Goblin, that Goblin. It's gonna be fucking ridiculous. And even Chameleon, Kraven the Hunter, Calypso, they're gonna do that fucking shit where she's like a fucking voodoo priestess and she's the girlfriend of fucking Kraven the Hunter. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be fucking unbelievable. You're gonna think that Kraven the Hunter's like Walking Dead. They're gonna do weird shit, horror like it. No, they are. They're gonna put him in the jungle. He's gonna be hunting shit. Then you're gonna find out that one of the fucking Spider-Man villains was manipulating fucking DNA. Maybe they'll just say Miles Warren, Professor Miles Warren, who creates the clones. He's going to create fucking beasts and shit. Next thing you know, Kraven the Hunter's going to be a fucking goddamn hero. Like a fucking movie star. Like hunting, and he's going to save the world by hunting. They're gonna use the fucking monsters in the Marvel Universe. The devil, all these fucking ridiculous things, and they're going to have fucking Kraven fight it. And they're going to do it like when he had a kid. His son was a movie star or some shit until he got killed, right? They're gonna fucking do that. They're gonna make it like he's a hunter. He kills all these bad things and everything, and it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the Mr. Negative and the Scorpion movies.
Yes, they'll even do that shit. It's gonna be like you said, at least fucking 5 films.
Oh yeah. They'll tell you
and then they'll cross Venom in, and they'll have Venom fight the Green Goblin.
Oh yeah, no, I personally think Venom. I think if Venom does well and he continues to do well, I think that eventually he'll be fighting all of these people. He'll fight Morbius, he'll fight Kraven, he'll fight the Goblins if they use them, and it'll just be. I wouldn't even put it past them to be like. The reason Norman Osborn made the Goblin Serum is because he saw what was happening with Venom and was like, a way to combat this. Yep. And it's like, you know.
And instead of Spider-Man fighting the Sinister Six, it'll be Venom fighting the Sinister Six.
Right. And meanwhile, like, when you really step back and look at this, it's like, you know, Spider-Man, like, his sole purpose is to stop these people.
Right. But the problem is he's like 16, though. That's the problem.
Right.
I always felt it never worked. Like, he's too young in this thing. They made it where he's dependent on Stark. He's dependent on this. Like, he's not the Spider-Man we know that entered Civil War that is already established.
Oh, yeah, he's
like,
not.
It should have been Tobey Maguire. It should have been Tobey Maguire.
They did that by design. Because when you look at it, he fits the target market so well, is that their target market is really these like teen to like young adults, so they can really kind of like get behind him. They can like relate to him. That's why they did that. The
audience they're going to lose their audience real fast when they keep throwing Tony Stark into Spider-Man movies.
Here's the thing. Do we think Stark's making it out of Avengers 4?
Tony Stark is going to be dead in Avengers 4, right? They're going to have the funeral in fucking Spider-Man, right? Then you're going to find out there's going to be an after fucking credit scene in fucking Spider-Man Far From Home where Stark fucking pops out of the fucking pod, fucking like in the comics or something, and he's like, oh, I feel so much better now. You know, or some stupid shit like that. And then people are going to lose their fucking shit. They're going to be like, oh, shit. And that's going to be part of, like, you know, whatever fucking threat's going to happen with Avengers. They're going to have Tony Stark now again. But he's going to be in secret. He's not going to tell the world he's alive. That's going to be the thing. I'm telling you, it has to be. It's like 90 fucking percent that he's going to be alive again.
I personally think that in Far From Home, they're finally going to let Spider-Man have his, you know, his own movie.
Oh, no. Nick Fury is going to be fucking watching him and shit.
No,
and then
I don't doubt that.
and then at the end, Nick Fury is gonna fucking find out that Stark's alive, and he's like, "How's the
I
kid
don't doubt that
doing all right?"
there's going to be people there to mentor him because I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I just don't think they're going to be as present as Iron Man was in Homecoming because that was one of the main criticisms from even people who liked it.
Right.
So I mean,
it's what's gonna happen. They're gonna bring Stark back to life at the end of the Spider-Man movie, and then they're gonna do instead of you're thinking that Spider-Man 3 is gonna be the Sinister Six, but if the Marvel deal is extended, they're gonna do Spider-Man versus Iron Man because they're gonna make it like maybe something's wrong, maybe that's not Stark, maybe whatever, and you're gonna see like they're gonna try to get from Civil War when Spider-Man fought Iron Man because Iron Man made the suit where the spider sense wouldn't work against Iron Man. And then he had to fight the suit himself and then he ripped it off from them and he's like, oh, done with Stark and everything. So, because he felt he manipulated him. So, maybe the suit even hindered the spider sense, from working. Who knows? But I'm going to say that, this is what they're probably going to do. But anyway, Venom, it's the thing. I don't want a movie to fail, but I know what's going to happen if it succeeds. Like Spider-Man's done.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be a really it's going to be a weird thing if Venom does really well or if Venom does really badly. I mean, either way, they're.
There's going to be consequences either way.
If Venom does really badly, not even a couple months from now, I think maybe like a week from now, you're going to start hearing, oh, things are delayed indefinitely.
But you know what, though? That might be the best course of action if it does bomb, because then Sony is behind the 8 ball, and they'll be more inclined to re-sign Spider-Man with Disney because they'll need the money, and they'll be like, yeah, okay. They won't say shit about it, but they'll be like, yeah, all right, we'll do that. Yeah. That's what's going to happen.
My thing is, though, what's really unfortunate is that this would be the second time that a live-action movie with Venom has not done well.
Yeah.
Which in movie producers' minds, that's almost like a death sentence.
Yeah, you'll never see him again for like 15, 20 years again.
Yep. That was the same. That was the same. The same thing with Godzilla. Had that 2014 movie not done well, we would have never seen an American-made Godzilla movie ever.
Yeah, I know that. Never. Yeah, no. So that's my take. I would rather, and again, I would rather Venom not do well than do well, because then Marvel will be screwed and Disney will be screwed. And
I'm hoping that Venom just does okay. Like, just let it do okay, and then
But if it does okay, they're still not going to create all these movies.
No, I know, but that's the thing though. If it just does okay, then they don't make those movies, and they're still, they're still like, okay, maybe we should work with Marvel.
Yeah, like it makes a $20 million profit instead of like a.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they didn't lose anything, but it's like.
Yeah, so that way the character is not completely destroyed from.
Oh, he's done. If they don't, well, they said. Supposedly, no matter what it does, doesn't Woody Harrelson got a contract? They have to do this movie.
Well,
no matter what.
Apparently, what Tom Hardy's thing says is that if the movie does well, they have to do 3.
3 movies.
They have to do 3.
No, but if it doesn't do well, don't they still have to do another Venom movie?
Apparently not.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so they got a clause out of that then. Okay. All right.
But again, this is Sony. Venom could do terribly, and they'll be like, "Oh, we're doing another one just because."
Well, that's another thing too. I mean, Ghostbusters, while they were saying it wasn't the loss that we think it is, the amount of money they made on merchandising is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like people don't understand that it's not just about like if you have a movie that has successful merchandise. And believe me when I tell you, when you walk on Times Square, they still have in Madame Tussauds the Ghostbusters thing.
Yeah.
And they showed clips from the new Ghostbusters, the VR thing. It made that properties, the girls, even the young girls, they're buying all this stuff that they never bought before. Like everybody that has Ghostbusters stuff is they make so much money that it's like be stupid not to do another Ghostbusters, because then you can have more merchandise. So that's why I really feel no matter what, there's going to be another Ghostbusters, even with the girls, because they're still popular too. It's Saturday Night Live and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know. But anyway, Venom, we'll see, man. Now, how much did it cost to make this movie?
I'm not sure, but the point I was about to make was the thing that's unfortunate for Venom is that it doesn't have any merchandise to fall back on.
Nothing.
So it's the movie has to do well.
Yeah, and another thing too, did they make a big effort to get it overseas?
I don't know, to be honest.
I don't think so.
That might be another reason why they made it PG-13, was because overseas they could run into some issues with an overly
Well, here's the thing: the budget is shit. It's only $100 million.
Yeah,
that's bad. All these movies are like $200 million. They spent $100 million on this.
Well, you know what it is. They don't know if it's going to work, so they're not.
But that's terrible budget. You don't. I know they're afraid, but come on, man. $150 million at least, whatever. They're really afraid. They're going to create a shit product. That's what it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
No good.
We got to, it comes out on Thursday, so,
Yeah.
Let's wait and see.
Which I guess is midnight release, right? On Wednesday, maybe?
No, it's supposed to come out Friday, but it will come out on Thursday.
Oh, Thursday release, yeah. Okay.
I'm going to try to see it on Thursday night, but I got to tell you, I was enthused after that trailer, that first one, or I guess the second one where he said, we are Venom. When that was there, I was like, wow, this looks pretty good.
Right.
Then when that other trailer came out, and I've been seeing the TV spots, I'm like, I'm starting to see the cracks in this movie.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We'll create another one. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye for now.